This week, I'm going to prove that the president, Secretary Powell, Janet Yellen, amongst many others that you've heard talking about the economy have actually been lying to you. Stay tuned. This one's good. So for those of you who've been following the economy, we've done a lot of videos on recessionary economies. It's largely a very popular topic because everybody wants to know what's going to happen next. This video isn't really about what's going to happen next. It's what's happened already, and it explains why you have been lied to by so many people that you trust and put your confidence in. The news, the media, everyone around you, real estate agents on social media, everyone's talking about how the economy was strong, and now they're starting to talk about how things are getting weaker. Well, you've been lied to for such a long period of time that frankly, it's somewhat disappointing. We're seeing so much in the news talking about when is the recession going to be declared? Are we going to go into a recession? Is there going to be a recession at all? Is the Fed going to be able to provide a soft landing? Well, the truth is we have been in a recession since January 1st of this year. Let me explain. There's math behind this and actual data to support it. Number one, I'll say going into it that the traditional definition of a recessionary economy is 2 successive quarters of negative GDP growth, meaning that for 3 months, the reports come out, GDP has been negative for that quarter, 3 more months, GDP is negative for that quarter, you declare a recession. But that is retroactive going to the first part of the first quarter, the first day of that first quarter. In this case, we find ourselves in Q1 and Q2 of 2022. If we declare a recession in July, that means the recession started in January, on January 1st of 2022. So while all this is happening, here's what we know. The Atlanta Fed has now finalized the number for GDP growth in the first quarter. It was originally supposed to be negative 1.4, was revised again to negative 1.5, and ultimately it was finalized at negative 1.6. So the economy actually shrank by 1.6%, a pretty significant number. Still, the Atlanta Fed, in their GDP Now number, were projecting a 2% increase for the second quarter, as recently as May. And then what happened in June when they released the new updated numbers, it was a bombshell. The same time the Q1 number was finalized, they revised their Q2 number to be negative. Now, for a reminder for those of you who aren't keeping up with the economy, the first quarter didn't have all the interest rate hikes that we've seen in the second quarter, a 50 base hike, a 75-point base hike. It's been pretty significant. And we've started to see things like consumer spending draw back. So they're now projecting a negative number for the second quarter GDP. And it's hard to believe that that won't actually be true. So if it does occur, and I believe that it will, and it'll be announced at the end of July, what does that mean for us in the economy? That means the whole time the president has been telling you we're in a good economy, we're strong, particularly in the beginning of the year, and Powell was saying we might be able to provide a soft landing. Things are okay. Or your favorite social media personality was don't listen to the doom and gloom. Everything's going to be amazing. These people don't know what they're talking about. It's not going to be a real estate impacted recession. We were in a recession the entire time they were saying it. They just couldn't see it and didn't understand basic core concepts of economics. There is much more than supply and demand. And those of you out there who will say, well, you know what, Chris? Unemployment's strong. It's below 4%. It's 3.6%. And if unemployment's so low, we have a strong economy. False. The lead up to every single recessionary economy was low unemployment. And the height of a recessionary economy, or I should say in this case, the low point of every recessionary economy, where it got to the lowest point, is when unemployment got to its highest. But let me explain why. What happens? Companies will often not recognize proactively that they are in a recessionary economy. And what we're going to see in this July, for example, is companies say, okay, we're not selling as much because consumer spending is down. People have already had, in effect, wage cuts because inflation is going up. Their cost of housing is going up, cost of food is going up, cost of energy is going up, cost of travel is going up. So because of all these things that are taking a bite out of their paycheck, we, the general public, have actually had a pay reduction this year already. So consumer spending is already coming down. Now you're going to see sector layoffs by layoffs in different sectors. As recent as a couple weeks ago, you heard Facebook say they were going to lay people off. Spotify said they were going to lay people off, and so on and so forth. You've got bankruptcies in Revlon. You've got bankruptcy in TRX. And there's so many more that are coming. We're coming off this weird fiscal stimulus. So unemployment will absolutely rise as wages come down because employers don't have to be so competitive because the pool of people that are in the market searching for jobs is now greater. And when you see that number actually get to its higher point, that's when you see a massive recessionary economy in full-fledged effect. This will not be a short-term thing. As a matter of fact, as a corollary, I'll leave you with a very simple and clear thought of how this worked out before. Leading up to the Great Recession, the single largest recessionary economy since the Great Depression in 1929, there was the exact same psychological phenomenon. Everybody around, when we were clearly in a recessionary economy, was saying we were not in a recessionary economy. And the public and everybody around you was feeding into this. It's not going to be bad. It's going to be fine. We're not going to have credit losses leading the way. It's going to be an affordability crisis like nothing we've ever seen before. And everybody who's told you things are going to be okay, everybody who's been telling you that they got everything under control and there's a possibility of a soft landing, has either been lying to you or doesn't understand enough about the economy to really understand the situation that we were in. And you need to think about that because the implications of that are significantly greater. If the Fed secretary did not understand we were in a recessionary economy and his job is to fix inflation, how can he possibly provide us a soft landing when he couldn't grasp the concept of what we were in when he was telling everyone the economy was okay? Use your head. Think through the stuff that people are telling you. There's a lot out there that they're saying because it just sounds good and makes you feel better. Do you want to feel better or do you want the truth? Thank you for tuning in this week. We'll catch you next time.